Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
We're back,
We are?
and it's Thursday.
Are you thirsty on this Thursday?
A little dry.
I was not expecting you to say it like that. Louis Capaldi has a song that's very sweet and romantic.
You
And
throw out all these names, and I'm like,
bitch, you're going to fucking love Louis Capaldi.
am I? 'Cause
Yes.
You say that I'm gonna love some people,
Who
music
did I say
wise.
you're gonna
I
love?
don't know.
I was honest about Taylor Swift's latest album, and I said, I don't think you're going to like it. And then I told you a couple songs that I thought you would like. I played them for you. You liked it. And
I
then the
said
last
they're fine.
album.
I didn't say I like them. I said they're fine, and it would be better if she stopped whispering.
Okay. Well, not even, I wouldn't even go to bat for that album because like, I was just like, oh, let me show you. It was less about like, Melissa, I heard this song and you're going to love it. I Bet You Think About Me. I was like, Melissa, she's back in her twang. She's got a twangy twang song. Miss Arkansas, I think you would enjoy it. And you were like, I've heard it. It wasn't bad. He's British.
Okay, I do. British people, I will say, do a lot of music better.
I-
The music that makes it here.
Without a doubt. Also, Justice for Little Mix, like fucking phenomenal. Like he is the male Adele. Like people were saying that about Sam Smith. People had this whole, actually, no, that's the theory about Sam Smith. I lied. People have a theory that Sam Smith's and Adele are the same person because they've never been in the same room together. And if you pitch up Sam Smith's voice, it sounds exactly like Adele. And if you pitch down Adele's voice, it sounds like Sam Smith.
I was in on Sam Smith before they had a record deal.
Oh, okay.
And
SoundCloud.
it was a lot more. It was actually this company that was great. It was like after Napster and those LimeWire, whatever, those shut down. There was this other company that was owned actually like by Windows at the time that was like, you could just get free music. It was before Apple Music, whatever. It was like, but that's how I discovered Sam Smith and also Amy Winehouse and a lot of British people actually.
He was British.
Joss Stone, and yeah, it was just a lot of cool people and some other folks too, but those are the ones that like hit it
Yeah.
big that I still listen to. But it was great, and I listened to them before they were famous, and back then they're a lot more soulful than they are now.
Oh, yeah.
So I can understand the Adele comparison in that
Yes.
way.
Louis Capaldi, you've definitely heard like his most famous songs.
What
Like
is it?
Someone You Loved. Guess you got to when the day bleeds into nightfall and to get me through it. I'm not gonna try and fully sing it because like this is one of those songs that I like sing in my car and I'm like, wow, I could be on American Idol. And so like I don't know how to halfway do it without trying.
Many years ago, you told me that you could sing, and I still haven't heard you actually. I haven't heard you actually sing yet, so I'm still waiting on that.
Well, here's the thing. I know how to sing.
Still haven't heard it. I've known you since 2016, I believe. Still haven't heard it.
You should know that post-COVID, I get so tired and so
Okay. Well,
winded.
you had years.
But I'm not saying I'm like a great singer,
Yeah.
but I know how to sing.
Yeah, still never heard it. So
Okay, well, anyways, so Louis Capaldi, he's like, I want to be his friend so badly. Mott's has literally only heard one of his songs, and he's like one of Mott's celebrity, like best friend crushes. He has the greatest personality in the entire world. He's so fucking funny and so quick. And then he talks, and you're like, oh, you're a singer. And then he belts out. He just beat Ed Sheeran for the #1 most streamed song in the UK, which is Someone You Loved. His voice I would consider it like if you gave like a male Beyonce meets male Adele. So it has like the more, Adele has like a beautiful tone, especially when you get into higher, but like, so does Beyonce. But like Beyonce has that like, I don't know, when you like sit like the not the necessarily like the lower range, but just that like.
She sang in church.
I was going to say, what's the singing version of like a guttural noise where it's like it's coming from your soul? Like
you grew up in a black church.
There
That's
you go.
what it is.
So he has like, and you're like, what the fuck? Like it sounds like he sang in a cathedral. Like his voice is just so fucking powerful and I will play
What's his name again?
Lewis Capaldi. And he has a new song. And literally all this goes back to, it was, she says she's thirsty, I bring her water. And all the comments were like, Lewis, you know that's not what she meant. But you would think he's Melissa, he is our sense of humor.
Okay. I will listen to him tomorrow as I'm driving through the city of Los Angeles on my mini stops, and I'll get back to you next week.
He's just... Where's the one that I was going to show you? Oh, but this is his voice.
She brings me in a pea.
I'm good.
No, it's beautiful.
Okay.
And the craziest part, last summer, nope, that's a lie. A lot of summers ago or winter.
Some time of year.
I watched it last summer.
Okay.
So his ex-girlfriend, so this girl goes on Love Island and she was like, yeah, I've dated celebrity before. I feel like she's Scottish, so I'm so sorry. That was not a good Scottish accent. And they ask who it is. And most of the time people say that. I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck this person is. She goes, Lewis Capaldi. And it was right as he was like blowing up at the height of his fame. And it was like, what the fuck? Then he goes on to like win some fucking award. And he goes, and shout out to my girlfriend Paige. She's on Love Island. Everybody go vote for her. And I was like, that is like, I love that.
Wait, what do people vote for on Love Island?
You vote to keep people safe.
Safe for what?
Elimination. Like elimination, the public.
Oh, I thought it was just a whole bunch of people getting together and just seeing who gets paired
Melissa,
off.
you think I could watch a show without stakes like that? I like low stakes television, but only in the Great British Bake Off. No. I need new, fresh faces. So every single...
New fresh faces?
That happens there too. No, but you basically, they have like the public...
don't have to go into it.
Okay, I'm just telling you, the public votes. And that's why you get psychologically, it fucks with people because then people are like, why do they hate us? What are you doing behind my back?
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, hi. Welcome to But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have never been wrong. You might be wondering what our names are.
My name's Melissa, and I'm joined by Meghan.
Hi, not Meghan McCain.
God, no.
No. I wouldn't even dare to compare myself to Meghan Markle because, of course not, except we did go to the same sorority and we do have the exact same birthday. And I was about to say, and for the same zodiac sign. Bitch, you have the same birthday. Of course you have the same zodiac sign. I thought that there was one other thing tying us together. Oh, we spell our names the same.
Cool.
So in an alternate universe.
We have received a few emails from people requesting, since our email address for our other podcast is meganpodcast@gmail.com, people have been just kind of throwing their hat out there.
I'm actually obsessed with the idea that they think that Meghan Markle's podcast, the email would be meganpodcast@gmail.com.
You'd be surprised, actually, of like companies that do Gmail addresses with just basic things. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if celebrities have fucking like Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, but like the company part is a little while. Anyways, on this podcast where we happen to never be wrong, we tell you when you're wrong. We have 3 different segments on the show. We have But Am I Wrong, where we pitch to each other hot takes or things going on in our life where we are like, hey, are we wrong? Plot twist, we never are. Then we take your submissions in But Are You Wrong, where you write in and tell us what's happening in your life. We will tell you we will tell you if you are the hero or the villain in your story. And then finally, we have But Are They Wrong, aka Rachel of the Week, aka Woad of the Week, where we nominate the worst of the worst or one of the worst of the week. Mm-hmm. And we all publicly shame them because they deserve it.
Right.
So one of my favorite parts of the show, maybe, dare I say, the best part of the show, is you get to vote on who you think is wrong in every situation. So these episodes come out on Thursday, and I try to get the voting up on Friday.
Yeah.
I will say, until the new year, let's just know that more likely than not, from now until the new year, we're going to have them on Saturdays and Sundays a little bit more often. Holiday season, it's just a little bit
we won't have our regular recording schedule like we usually do.
Yeah, so we're doing we're recording twice this week.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be going out of town for the holidays. I'm going to be going out of town, and eventually when I go to Colorado, the service is not too great. So it just, just know that it will be up. If you've been a listener of Don't Blame Me, you know that we do I think a great job of holiday episodes and stuff throughout this season, which can kind of be a lot of places just totally take time off, but we do adjust things to work for that. So just know that will be happening. Those are on our highlights, so they'll be up for 24 hours. I add them all into the highlight when they go up. I feel like I should say that we do read the results of the polls from who was right, who was wrong from each episode on our Friday episode called Fisting Friday. You're welcome for us naming that. When we name something, it sticks.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a temporary name, but then
it was catchy.
Yeah. Catch it right up that wherever you put a fist.
Your anus, your mouth,
your cat.
I was wondering if you could stick your own. I could.
Oh. You might be able to because you have long limbs.
Really fucking long arms.
I don't think I could.
You should have just seen in my head. I literally was I
can't. No, I wouldn't be able to turn my wrist enough.
I immediately went to, I would be able to. And then I go, I don't think she'd be able to. That's literally what was going through my head. I go, no, there's no way you could stick. Oh, I could. She couldn't. I'm like, that's the difference. But again, if someone were to make the Thanos ring gauntlet, whatever the fuck, every time I can't say, if they were to make a fist of that, if they could use your hand for a mold, if they wanted to do a giraffe neck, an entire emu, like Gumby from Gumby and Pokey, that's what you would take this long ass thing for.
Question.
I don't know if okay. Did I say something wrong?
It has nothing that's disgusting, but PBS. I was going to say, where were you watching Gumby and Pokey?
From the library.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't watch a lot of things.
No, but we had 3 channels, the first ones.
That's why I said it was on PBS, but I watched it on Nickelodeon. So that's why I was asking.
I don't like it though. I think we should outlaw claymation with the one exception for Rudolph. All of the rest of them, what
about Frosty the Snowman?
That's in the same vein. That specific genre of Christmas movie, those couple ones, they can stay. I would like to get rid of every other claymation movie. I think if you make claymation, that's you should be fined.
Key and Peele just made one.
I don't like it. I hate
You heard it here first. Meghan does not support Black leading female characters.
They did Z-Way. Did you watch the Julia Fox one?
Yeah. I still don't like Julia Fox.
That's fair. You don't have to like Julia.
Yeah.
But the way that I have never seen Z-Way break character more, it was between that and Katya. It was just you've been out Z-Wayed by people who the Z-Way character can't even handle these people's real personalities. It killed me. That one was, and also Z-Way looked so concerned. I was Z-Way's concerned about Julia Fox.
Yeah, for real.
Anyways.
All right, so now it's time for But Am I Wrong? And so this week, I don't think it's really a hot take, but it's just some thoughts that I have.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Have pronatalists. Do you know what those are? I mean, use context clues.
Melissa, can you not see the gears turning in my head? I go prenatal, before birth, prenatal vitamins. Pronatal, you said?
Yes, I did.
So pronatal would be, if it's not before or after, because that's postnatal.
But you know what pro is?
Yep. In favor of.
Exactly.
In favor of bait.
Yes.
Of
yes.
I know where this is going.
So pronatalists are advocates of the policy or practice of encouraging people to have children. And so there's been a movement amongst Silicon Valley elitists, the people with the money, that people need to start having more babies. Oh, I should say what my thing is. My hot take is that pronatalists are just eugenists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are people in Silicon Valley that fear with the falling birth rates in certain quote unquote developed countries like the US will lead to the extinction of cultures and ultimately the collapse of civilization. And this is mostly coming from very rich white people. Some of the main advocates are Simone and Malcolm Collins. And so there's this couple, those people believe that if people who are smarter, in their words, smarter or more intelligent than most people, they should be the ones that are having all the babies. And that's why, like, Elon Musk is someone that's very pro this, and he has, I don't even know how many, I don't think we know.
I don't think he knows either.
Yeah. He's just like out here having babies because they feel like the more intelligent people should be having babies, but like it's really the rich people. And just because you're rich does not make you intelligent. And I think he's a prime example of that.
Case in point.
He has 10 known children, Elon Musk. And he's been very vocal about this on his Twitter feed. They think that this will be the solution of the world and that intelligence is genetically inherited, which is not true. There are also a lot of the people in Silicon Valley are investing in genetic testing in embryos, artificial wombs, and creating human eggs out of stem cells. Which, why are y'all doing it just to the eggs? You can't do that to sperm? I mean, you can, but like they're developing things where we won't need sperm anymore to have children. But
so who are they going to put these in? If so, they're not.
Well, they're going to have these artificial wombs.
And then I guess you just cut.
Yeah.
This is like Transformers meets Handmaid's Tale.
Exactly. And so my thing is like, they think that these are going to people that are going to be the people that are going to solve the future world problems. And they're not even solving the problems that we have now. Like if these people took the money that they have right now and invested it in, I don't know, the school system, water, and fighting climate change, like what are these future problems? No, what you're trying to do is just make clones of yourselves and put your money in something that does not ultimately matter.
And the lesson I think we all should have learned from Transformers, when you think that you can create life and that will solely benefit you, and that those people or whatever will be indebted to you and then work for you, similarly that you would do as unpaid labor, No, like
Right.
that's not going to end up well for you.
I know we've talked about eugenics. You've had eugenics before, but I just want people to be aware of what is happening and what these people are doing with money. And some people think that rich people have all the answers and solutions to things, when it's no, they have the answers and solutions for themselves. And this is a way for them to just take things, and it's another form of trying to say that they have better genes just because of where they are in their position in life.
Yeah. And we've seen this throughout history
Mm-hmm.
and current day in different forms. And now we're taking the tech bro
Right.
like angle of this.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not wrong at all. On a much lighter note, my hot take, and I don't know how you're going to agree with this, Raisins deserves more respect.
I have raisins in my pantry.
There we go. I don't know why I ever doubted you.
We have a lot of same food preferences.
We do. I don't know why we go to you go to the movie theater. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get some Milk Duds. I'm gonna get a Snicker. I'm gonna get some Mike and Ike's. And then it's like Raisinets. Who's eating those? Bitch, me. I'm sorry.
They're some of my favorite.
They are fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And you mean to tell me that you're like, no. I want these fancy truffles. I want all of this stuff. Oh, bring back the OG. You're going to stuff a date with bacon and cheese and you're going to turn your nose on a chocolate covered raisin? You drink wine and you're not going to have this like little beautiful tiny little morsel of sweet that's not too sweet, but it's just sweet enough.
I just remembered that Sprouts has some in their bins of stuff.
I just think that what we have done to raisins, I need the PR behind Big Kale to get behind raisins, because raisins are great. They come in the, first of all, cutest fucking packaging.
Mm-hmm.
What snack? Baby Bell cheese and raisins. Only times. Iconic. You've got a little paper little box. No one else is serving those. Nerds. That's it. Nerds. I'm sure you heard it here first as someone who's not fact checking any of this, that Nerds got their inspiration of their packaging from raisins.
I'm sure.
And they're kind of like, look like a little bit somewhat like raisin little nugget shapes. But you would have them in your lunches. What you can put them on oatmeal. You can put them in cookies. You can do all of these delicious things. And then especially when it comes to like desserts and baking, they're already dried, but unlike other dried fruits, they're not getting crunchy. They're not getting like too airy, but then they're also not so wet or way too chewy. They're perfect. And I think they're exponentially better than grapes, because grapes have a small window before they get too squishy. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I need a grape to be crisp.
We love a firm grape.
I love, give me a firm grape. But if you give me a flaccid, squishy little nutsack grape, no, that's disgusting. You'll spit it out. You'll gag.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been just looking down upon raisins since what? We turned 10 years old?
I'll tell you what happened. You won't remember
the George Bush administration.
You won't remember this, but because it happened before you were born. But there used to be these little guys called the California Raisins. And it was these little animated raisins. It was like a coalition of the California Raisin Advisory Board, Foot, Cone, and Belding. I don't know what happened to them.
The raisins name? Oh, sorry. I was like, those are random names for these cartoon characters.
It's an advertisement agency.
Okay.
But they created these characters where it was these little raisins that were animated, and they were like blues singers. And it was so much like, this was a big part of my childhood. They had merchandise. They had like TV specials. Like Big Raisin exists.
And then
we need to bring it back.
One of the raisins had old tweets resurface. And turns out one of the raisins is an anti-vaxxer, a COVID denier.
Well, according to them, the production cost for all the raisin stuff was twice. They didn't have enough money to cover it.
Yet Eminem, I mean, I love the camp of all of it, but I think we could give up the Planters Eminem thing.
Yeah.
I don't need him.
It says in 2015 it was announced that there was going to be a live action reboot, and it never happened. So maybe we need to figure out who was doing it.
I just think that there has to have been some television show, something, because I distinctly remember Raisins suddenly like becoming uncool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like we got to a certain age and it was no longer like, oh, raisins, like it wasn't cool anymore. And I had to hide my love of Raisinets. And I would have to, like, if I was going to the movies or getting candy, I would have to be with the right company knowing that I was in a safe place to eat my Raisinets. And then people were out here eating Junior Mints. And I go, you just had an entire mouthful of toothpaste and you're going to knock me for having some raisins?
But people love raisins if it's in a trail mix.
There you
if
go.
it's in cereal, like a Raisin Bran. If it's like...
When's the last time someone ate oatmeal without putting a little sprinkling of raisins on it? Why are we pretending that like raisins play... Raisin has a seat at every table.
Mm-hmm.
Stop making raisins a trail mix only play. Like, you don't have to be on Runyon Canyon to have a raisin.
Yes.
Go to the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
Have a fucking raisin.
Preach.
Put the milk duds down. Your dentist wants you to stop. Put the fucking Junior Mints down. You're lying to yourself. Nobody likes those. There's a reason why they serve York peppermint patties in singular things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need an entire carton of toothpaste. Eat the raisin. You know you fucking want to. You know you want to eat the raisin.
I'm here with you. I
love them. And I want to find a dairy-free chocolate-covered raisin.
You could also make them.
Oh, I'm so down to.
Yeah.
That would require tempering chocolate, and that is a little bit of a headache.
But what you could do is just like melt some and then just freeze it and then put it out and know that it's going to melt in your hand, but like you're still going to get the sensation of it.
It's an instant gratification sort of thing. And I just want to say that from the National Library of Medicine, I don't know if this is a accredited website. It looks like
sound
it is.
like it. Does it? What's the end? Does it say .gov on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, there's so many dots. It's ncbi.nlm.nih.gov.
That's definitely a government website.
I'm like, it looks ugly as shit.
Oh, yeah. When I see that blue bar at the top.
I know. I'm like, looks fucking real. And there's no ads. It's like, it looks like a government website. They are rich in fiber, even though it is 60% sugar content, which that's fine.
It's nature's candy.
Several studies have reported health-promoting properties of raisins, as well as the cell line and animal
science.
Yep. It has been demonstrated that raisins possess a low to moderate glycemic index, and they can be involved in the improvement of cardiovascular health. They may not, but they're not saying that they may be detrimental to cardiovascular health. In addition, raisins maintain a good oral health due to their antibacterial activity, adherence to teeth, and optimum oral pH. So it's sticking to your teeth, but you can get them off, and it makes you do that versus a milk dud. I promise you have milk dud residue in your teeth 3 years later. You can't get that shit out. You cannot. It can also help with colon function, though they say that the research is slim.
It's only because they haven't paid to do more research. So if we get more people behind it, let's go.
This is the part that I was like, they don't want us to know about Big Raisin. Because Big Raisin, like, we need this has the probability to blow out of the water. Somebody shut down Raisin before we could get to the real conclusive answers. Cell line and animal model studies show other potential benefits in specific diseases such as cancer and Alzheimer's.
I need to get some raisins.
Bitch, who shut down raisins? Who did this? And you who I want to blame? Big Printer. Because that is the only one who nobody's looking into Big Printer.
It could be Big Hill too. Think about it.
I know, but I liked her. She had gumption.
She did.
And I don't think she would do this.
I forget that there was a true person behind Big Hill.
She was cool.
Yeah, she was.
And she took kale from nobody to somebody.
Ethical
I don't
scam.
think that she would take down.
You're right.
This has Marvel supervillain written all over it.
Yeah.
Bring raisins back, everybody. Eat your raisins. Stop spending $12 on kombucha and probiotics that are not actually real probiotics, and eat a fucking raisin.
You know what you can do? Just eat like some chocolate chips that you can't eat and then put raisins in your mouth.
I love a homemade concoction like
that. So you just You don't even have to worry about.
We got to talk about the ratio of chocolate to raisin and Raisinets. And like the gloss on them, they're nice.
They are.
Like they're poppable. They're snackable.
Also, if you put them on top of popcorn, hot
Oh
popcorn.
my gosh. That's sweet and fucking salty. Oh my God.
In my case, I don't put a lot of salt on it, but it's enough. The corn, like the corn with the chocolate and
like the puffy of like the airy kind of crispy. And then you have this like rich chocolate. Everybody, it says, finally, overall, incorporating 80 to 90 grams portion of raisin, half a cup, into the daily diet may be favorable for human health.
Okay.
I'm not going to go that far, but I would just like justice for raisins.
I stand with you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be supported in my endeavor. And Big Raisin, the Raisin Coalition, the group of raisins, the Raisinettes.
Let's find the California Raisin Advisory. Maybe we can join the board.
I am so happy to work with you and to get your message out there.
Space in Fresno.
Like, can we just talk about how that fucking medical medium had bitches like juicing 1,000 pounds of celery every single day and shitting their brains out because it was like, oh, this is going to cure you from everything. And y'all won't even eat a fucking raisin.
Yeah. Oh, they got shut down last year. Never mind.
Let's bring the band back together. Hit me up.
Well, let's take a break.
And we're back.
All right. Now it's time for But Are You Wrong? And that's when y'all write in and then we judge if you're wrong or not. All right, here's our first write-in. Me and Casey, fake names 28, she, hers. I have been friends with Casey since high school. She was popular and I was well known and friendly with everyone, but not in the popular clique. She has always been kind of secret about our friendship. Casey has a habit of making everything about her. When I got engaged, she cried about her boyfriend not moving in with her. When I got married and had a baby, she cried about not being engaged. I have always been expected to console her. When my baby was in the hospital, she didn't care but expected me to console her about her dog's potential cough.
Shut the fuck up.
Casey told me she was planning to ghost a girl who had Casey as her maid of honor. I told her to be direct, but she wanted to avoid the confrontation and told me her plan to ice the girl out. Recently, Casey seemed to be doing the exact plan to me. I asked her and she proceeded to say some hurtful things to me. She said I was annoying for asking if she was pulling back. After 3 weeks, she reached back out and said that because I care and check in, I am the problem, and her other friends don't notice when she's going through things and being in hermit mode. I told her it felt like after getting engaged, she started only making time for her high school popular friends to prep for choosing her bridal party. She didn't deny this, and I know optics matter to her. After all this, I told her I wouldn't check in anymore, and she told me she didn't want any of this to change our friendship. Am I wrong for not wanting to be friends with Casey anymore? This is what you're wrong about. Keeping Casey as a friend for this long when in high school, like you are married with the child now. In high school, she didn't want people to know that y'all were friends. Like,
I don't think you and Casey have been, I don't think Casey's been your friend ever.
No, she's not your friend. Like this girl, potential dog cough.
Bitch, what is like a potential fucking cough? Like a burp? Like a fucking a scratch in my throat.
Sometimes when my dog yawns, she'll go, and it sounds kind of like almost a cough, but like, this is not your friend. She never has been. She uses you for emotional support that she can't get from her friends that she has just for optics, which is fucked up.
Yeah, she has no real friends, like, because she's the fucking worst. And you are just the person who has tolerated her bullshit that she just continues to dump on you. This is like fully unhinged. She's saying that you're the problem because you check in on her.
I can't believe
What?
that at y'all's, I don't know how long you said, 28, at y'all's big age, that she's still acting like this.
I can. I had a friend, I wouldn't consider the friendship very close. They would have considered it much closer than I ever did. But if I considered them like a close friend, it would have like wrecked me and I would have been like, oh my, this would have weighed on me a lot more. But yeah, they made everything good or bad that happened in my life about them. And then suddenly like I was always in trouble and like they were always mad. I was always having to apologize for either going through something that was tough or having something good happen. And it was like always like, I'm indebted to you or like, I'm so sorry. And it was like, what the fuck am I? What? Like, it's just, but the reason why people do that is like well-adjusted people don't do that. And you can't do that to everybody. You only do that to the people who like you think are going to like stick through on the other side.
Yeah. So your question, I told you why I think you're wrong, but you asked, am I wrong for not wanting to be friends with Casey anymore? No. So
glad you finally arrived here. I just met you and her, and I've been here for years. This is so. I also just want to know, like, did you call her when you got engaged, or did she call you crying? Because she like saw the pictures.
Yeah. Or you like showed your ring, and you're like, no. There's so many times I would have just ghosted her, even though you are somebody that likes to communicate. But yeah, get rid of her.
Yeah. Get rid of high school you is about to jump for joy and cheering as you have when you're ready to fucking, and like be as bitchy about it as you fucking want. You don't have to be mature about it. Like she wanted to keep your friendship secret in high school. No. As an only child, I'm not a technically real only child, but I was raised as an only child. I wonder, this to me is like only child energy who like sees people complain about like their weird sibling or cousin that they have to invite and like obligation. And so then they don't have that. So they cast a friend in that role to then be the voice of reason, the shoulder you cry on, but then you get to make fun of them in groups of bigger people. Like it's like literally giving like movie.
There was a friend that I had, this was when I was living in Pennsylvania, so that would have been middle school, that I was, I guess, a popular person and popular-ish, and she wasn't, and other people thought she was like weird, but I thought she was cool.
Yeah.
And like I invited her to my birthday party and people were like, why is she here? And I was like, because she's my friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Hi, Meghan and Melissa. I will get right to it. I, 28 female, work in a facility where I'm only one of two women. The job is in my field, environmental science, but lately I feel like it has been hurting my mental health. I feel as though this job and environment has made me feel such disdain for men overall. It doesn't help that the men I work with tend to have vulgar and inappropriate conversations no matter if I'm around them or not. Recently, they have been eating my food in the only fridge as well as using my coffee creamer, all labeled with my name clearly. In the past, when asked, I have agreed to share food as I know I am more financially fortunate than a lot of my coworkers. But I have now had 2 cases of creamer go missing without a word. My boss suggested I put laxatives in the creamer and then whoever was doing it would probably stop. My question is, would it be wrong to do this? It feels icky to basically poison someone, but it is also fully labeled as mine and not to drink it. My boss offered no other help in the matter, and I am actively looking for a different job. Part of me feels bad to do this, but part of me is just mad and hates my coworkers. I'm a Scorpio and not sensitive, so be harsh if I am very wrong. Thanks.
Here's the thing. When this was first being read before we got to what your boss said, immediate thought in my head, gotta put some laxatives in there.
So the summary of this, am I wrong for poisoning coffee creamer? And I was like, I don't know this about, but no, you're not.
Melanie wrote that.
I know. That's why I was dying. I was like, she knew how to hook me in. And she did. No, you would not be wrong at all. First of all, your boss suggested you do it.
Also, it's yours.
First of all, you might need the laxative. You might be backed up. Like, it's not arsenic. It's not like a poison. Like, this is used as somebody who sometimes gets constipated. I gotta take a laxative.
Yeah.
And if you came in here and you took my drink without my permission, you don't even know what you're consenting to because I didn't consent you to take my drink.
Yeah, exactly. When you eat or drink somebody else's things, you're just setting yourself up because you're taking a chance. You don't know what's in there. You don't know if they went to the bathroom, wiped their ass, and then touched it with their bare hands and didn't wash their hands.
I think the laxative is the most G-rated, nicest route you could go with this. I think that you have a threshold to do something far more disgusting.
Mm-hmm. It's your food. Even if you didn't do anything of it, nobody knows how food is being prepared at one's home.
What if you salmonella?
You could have a cat up there licking all through the plate.
What if you brought two of the same and one has been in there for months?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's the other day I made fresh rice, but there was old rice in, and I put them in the same container, and then I didn't know which one was, and I had to throw them both out.
And that hard rice that basically re-becomes the dried capsules of rice.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, we've come back to square one.
Yeah.
I think that you're so you would not be wrong.
I don't think so either.
I would highly, highly, highly encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be comical. And I would
also
pay attention to who
you said
goes.
that most of the people that work at your place are male. Not in your bathroom.
That is true.
Sends a message to all of them.
I know what you're doing. You bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and if they're like incredibly macho alpha male douchey dudes too, you could start, scaring them and just like speaking into their phones, estrogen and milk propaganda. And then they will think that if you do soy milk, that they're going to grow titties.
Yeah. I would say, so that you still have creamer, get one of these double-walled cold things.
Like a thermos?
A thermos. And put your creamer in there and keep it with you. Or I know it's not as good, do the powdered kind, but just until everything passes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And watch them face the consequences through their fiery assholes.
Yep.
What kind of laxatives would you use?
Well, it depends on what kind of
creamer.
If it's like a chocolate creamer, then I'm going to use a chocolate laxative. If it's like sometimes some of them are a little chalky, it just depends.
If it was green tea, I would recommend the most problematic name of a tea that's the use now. Maybe it started off not being that problematic. No, ballerina tea.
No, don't know that one.
It's sold at bodegas. I know it's but I don't know if that's what it's like known for here, but like the origins of it is not being like whatever. But the association of ballerinas being incredibly thin and this problematic. It's sold at bodegas in New York. And every time Kyle comes to visit, I am someone, IBS, when I travel, cannot shit. And my body's like immune to like every other laxative. Like it's just not fucking happening. Ballerina tea is the only thing. Kyle, every time I went to go visit.
Bowel arena?
No, ballerina.
But ballerina would be pretty.
That would be fucking hilarious because you're dancing on that toilet. That's fucking funny. No, but there's literally like ballerinas on. I know. But every time I would come to New York, he would have a box all ready and he'd be like steeping some tea. And he goes, hopefully by day 3, you'll be able to shit.
What a good friend.
Oh, yeah. He's also got tummy issues.
All right. Next, write in. Hey, bitches. Would love to know if you think this is an ethical scam. My boyfriend, Dan, him, 25, thinks it's an ethical scam and I disagree. So this situation doesn't completely pertain to me, her, 25. But it pertains to my brother-in-law, Frank, him, 31. Frank's grandmother, let's call her Mary, and grandfather, let's call him Barry, have been scammed. Mary and Barry have always wanted their fortune and house to go to the church. They've lived a very privileged life with servants. Mary passed away last year, and Barry is currently struggling with severe Alzheimer's. Frank's aunt changed the will, making a lot of the money go to her instead of the church, and had Barry sign it. Barry had no idea what he was doing. Now Frank and his mother are getting lawyers involved, which will be taken from their fortune as well. I don't think it's ethical that Frank's aunt changed the will, and it's what his grandparents have always wanted. Dan thinks donating a lot of money to a Southern white Christian church is a bad idea, which I agree, but this is something his grandparents wanted their whole life. Dan and I are both liberal atheists and disagree on this. Would love to hear what you think. The only part that I think is unethical is them not cutting everybody else in on the deal.
I have to agree. Here's the thing. Is it okay to take advantage of people when they are not of sound mind and body? The answer? It depends. It depends. It depends. Who are you fucking over?
Yeah.
And who's going to gain in this situation? And I just have to say, you don't know that they haven't officially had a change of heart, nor do I. Here's my other thing I will say. You know, I've got feelings about death and dying and all that shit. If you have a wish of where you want your money to go when you die, yeah, that's a hope. That's a hope where it's going to, there's no guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as they know, when they pass on, the church got all that money. Yep. It's not like donating money when you're alive and they build a hall in your honor and you see it happen. It's literally like throwing a penny in a wishing well. Mm-hmm. Like, I think unless you are like a billionaire, you're a Bill Gates, you're someone who has so much fucking money that all of like your living relatives and like are supported for so much, like donate whatever you want to donate to, like whatever you can, like donate those sizable amounts of money. But like if you've got like living relative,
but also the thing is like, what's going to happen is that the church, unless they have a building fund, which all Southern churches have a fucking building fund, even after they've built the new church, they're going to take the money and then distribute it out to the community. Like, why not just cut the middleman out? It's because the church is then going to get rebates from the government.
Well, also, churches, people are going to die every year and leave their money there. People are going to not die every year and donate their money every year. No one's going to
even every week. People give money, tithes to the church, like every single week.
Nobody's going to do that to your family. Mm-mm. Like it's not like, oh, well, we're going to have someone else is going to leave their money here. It's like, and again, unless you've set up your kids, their kids, future generations, and like they will want for nothing, why the fuck would I give what do you mean? That's like just throwing your money away at Target. Someone's gonna spend money at Target tomorrow. It's not up to you to keep them employed.
Me, a Christian from the South, no, I'm not donating. I know for a fact where my parents' money is going, and it's not going to the church. It goes to me, and then I distribute it to everybody else.
The point of being anti-generational wealth is when only some people right now have generational wealth. The goal, everybody has generational wealth. You know who's had generational wealth forever who doesn't need it? The churches.
Also, who are these servants?
I'm a little...
Who calls the people that works in their homes servants these days?
Oh, wait, she did... Oh, that... Because my immediate... When I read that before, it went on to... Did she say Southern somewhere?
Yeah, it's a Southern white church.
My mind automatically, I was like, is this South Africa? Like, that was where my mind... That's the last time I heard someone use the term. Mm-hmm. I mean, still incredibly, but like in this day and age, here saying that, like, that's... If the implication is that your grandmother and her grandmother and grandfather in their lives, which they have recently passed, were these people paid?
Yep, because that's what a servant. If not, then they're the house staff, but you don't call them servant.
No, it feels like the grandmother swapped for a different S word. Mm-hmm. That she just took a sidestep thinking that it meant something else.
They should get money too.
That was exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, if they weren't on salary and you look at their contracts if they had to live there.
Yeah. Either way, they should be getting money because they're going to be out of a job when Barry dies.
Yeah, I think that the only issue here, the only part that's wrong is I don't think that we're thinking big enough.
Mm-hmm. I would go to the aunt and say, we're either taking you to court or everybody needs to get a check. Those are the two things.
I will say, do I agree that the aunt should probably get the most because she had the balls to start this? Mm-hmm. She had the pussy to start this. She had the titties to start this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should be accurately compensated for your gusto.
Yeah.
For your bravery, for your ruthlessness, and for your business entrepreneurial mind.
Yes. Yeah. CEO.
CEO. Elder abuse. CEO. Hey, if my grandma was fucking rich at the, like when she had Alzheimer's, I mean, she was incredibly poor, but if she was fucking wealthy and also Southern and Christian, come on.
Yeah.
The goal when people are experiencing dementia and Alzheimer's and all that stuff is don't rock the boat. And so nobody should be trying to tell Barry. Leave Barry out of this. Keep Barry's money in this situation. Leave Barry out of this. Just for the sake of who's being their caregivers.
Also, what lawyer approved of Barry signing the papers? Because you usually have to have somebody there. So the lawyer's in on it too.
Well, I was going to say, I'm like, if they were employing quote unquote servants, I can't imagine their business practices were by the book. So
yeah,
it might have just been the other party's lawyer who was like, I'll act on behalf of both when you give me my 10% check. Okay, this is another milk one. Hello, Melisa and Meghan. I almost read that as Meghan Melissa because I am an egocentric Leo and I just put my name at first.
Bitch.
There's your real voice. I've had some issues with a new coworker for numerous things, but this in particular grinds my gears. I am a working parent that chest feeds and therefore I pump at work. We have 2 fridges in our break room free for anyone to use, and I claimed an unused mini fridge to put my pumped milk in. Am I wrong for being kind of weirded out that she puts her drinks in there on occasion? The only reason I can think of her doing that is because it's a further walk to the other communal fridges and she knows nobody else will try to access it. She got mad at me once for moving.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Her Coke can, company provided, plenty more of where it came from, and even if somebody were to have taken it. I moved it out of the freezer portion of the milk fridge and into another because it had been there all day and I didn't want to explode all over my child's milk I worked hard to pump. I don't know. I've got friends with kids who chest feed and, pump the milk, do all of those things. But I take whatever I'm going to say, like, know that I don't have personal experience with this. I know that like employers legally are supposed to make accommodations for people if you're pumping and stuff. I don't know if you've gone about this through like your work and this is your only designated thing for that. And like, it can't be with anything else. Like, I don't know. I know people who have like, I have a friend who's like an insane oversupplier. And so they had like an extra freezer and all of that stuff. But I also don't know if I guess my assumption was you just put the milk in the regular fridge with the rest of your food.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like that's not a thing. But if you have not been given explicit access that this is only your fridge and all the employees know that like this is only for you and it has like a lock on it that is again like just for you, I don't think that you can like dictate who puts things in there.
I agree. From the people I know that put their titty milk on reserve, they usually put it in like a little plastic bag, like it's like specific for breast milk, or in like a little jar, but it goes in the refrigerator or the freezer, and like with everything else at your house, like if you have frozen meat, you just don't, but it's in a container.
Yeah.
So it's no different. So yeah, like unless they gave you this refrigerator specifically for this, you said you claimed it as your own, but was it designated? Like, you don't, just because you claim something doesn't mean that it's yours. And I don't think that you have, again, unless they said, I don't think you have a right to only put your breast milk in this refrigerator. As long as like there's space, then people can put whatever they want in there. And if it, let's say a Coke did burst, okay, you wipe it off and you move along. It's not going to ruin the milk if it's in a proper container.
Yeah, I think if you're storing it and it's not enclosed and therefore like things could happen to it, then you need to have a lock on it. And like that needs to be, again, through your company has like given you to do this. But if it is, even if like they've explicitly said this is only yours to use, like this is just for you, unless you have a lock on it, like you will be the asshole if you're moving people's things because they put it in there. They will also be the asshole because they're using a fridge they're not supposed to. But it's a break room. Like shit happens. And I don't think it's worth your time and energy to have to constantly be like policing your coworkers for this when you either could have a lock on it if it's just yours, or you're storing it in a way that is not going to be affected if something explodes. Also, a Coke can being in the refrigerator all day will not.
I thought you said freezer.
Make it. Oh, will that happen?
Yeah. If you put a Coke can in a freezer, it can't explode. Know that from experience.
Yeah. So this is just like one of the things that sucks about being like a chest feeding parent who works, that like pumping and like having to like do all of this shit. And I think it's great that your company is like giving you this to use, but I think you're well within your right to specifically ask like for a lock for that, or change up how you are storing it so it is secure. Because I don't think the solution is you just having a cooler with you that you have to bring every day. Like your work should be having accommodations there, but there's human error in employees like adhering to those kinds of things, and you do have to advocate for yourself. But I personally think if you can advocate for yourself 2 or 3 times, that's great. But if you have to do it every single day and like constantly like policing your coworker, doing all of that sort of shit, then like what can you do for your own peace of mind that you can adjust that makes it easier on you? Because yeah, I can imagine it being frustrating if it exploded and like ruined all of this.
But it should be in a container.
That's what so I'm saying like
you, and if you're like it can get contaminated if it's not in a container.
Well, I think that's the concern here. And it's like if it's not,
but that's like,
I was gonna say, but the likelihood, if you think now that if the Coca-Cola, like if the Coke explodes on it, it will get contaminated, I highly doubt you have been pumping for this long and storing it at work in unsafe conditions that would make it so easy for it to get contaminated. Like maybe it's even just doing a little more research and seeing that like, oh, it might explode and get the outside sticky, but it won't contaminate it. There's a lot like still of milk in general that are age-old things of people, like if you have like a single drink you need to pump and dump, like a lot of those stuff is like old and no longer relevant and not updated scientifically and not things that you have to do anymore. So I would also just make sure that, you know, you're not thinking that it's at risk for being contaminated when it's like really clearly not.
Yeah. I'm just looking at storage for that, and like even if you use the little plastic bags, which a lot of people do, they use the plastic bags and then just put that in some warm water and then but they have like a container to put those bags in too.
Yeah, that's like all my friends do. It's a bag within a bag within a bag within a bag, and that's why people write the date on them. Like they're really well organized in that. And
I don't think you have claim on a refrigerator.
No,
just because you said this is my refrigerator. All right, time for another break. Now it's time for But Are They Wrong? And that's when we pick someone. Well, you already know because Meghan said it at the top. So no need to repeat. All right. So my pick this week is Gordon Lawshe. I don't know. Lawshe. He is a former council member, and he he called the police on a 9-year-old girl who looks all of maybe 8. She's a little black girl, and said that a little black woman is spraying some unknown spray on the trees. Okay, so this man is this little girl's neighbor. He's seen her plenty of times, knows who the mom is. This little girl, she had on a hoodie. She didn't have a hood over her head, though. And he's calling her a little woman, looks 7, like clearly a child. She was spraying spotted lanternflies, which is an invasive species that threatens some trees and plants. And the Department of Agriculture in New Jersey encouraged residents to do this to begin with. And this man, claims that he apologized to her. And after he realized who it was, again, a child, he knew who it was from the beginning. Their neighbors. He could have went outside and looked her dead in the face. And he was observing her from his backyard like a fucking creep. He didn't want to become involved in a confrontation, so he called the police department when he called the non-emergency number.
As if that's supposed to be like,
right.
It's not that bad.
And said that it was a little black woman spraying the sidewalks and trees with the unknown substance. And then the police officer came and was like, why am I here? Essentially, y'all heard part of it. And then he comes out and says, well, this is his lawyer saying that the Lawshe name has been associated with the borough of Caldwell for over 100 years. The name Lawshe and the word racism had never been used in the same sentence in those 100 years. And since Mr. Lawshe has been accused of being racist, he and his family have received death threats to their person and property. Mr. Lawshe and his family have been defamed and will continue to be defamed until the innuendo and direct accusations and attacks against Mr. Lawshe and his family cease. Okay, that's what you get for calling the police on a little girl who was trying to make the community better, and you calling the police and specifying that she's a little black woman in a hood. You knew what you were trying to do.
Yeah. And you're her neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think beyond this being, no doubt about it, this is just racist. It's also creepy. Yeah. And I think we should be calling
your backyard.
Think we should be calling you more things than just a racist.
Yeah.
Think it's a little alarming that you're so aware of the doings of your child neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the opposite of infantilizing her.
Yeah.
And you're referring to her as a woman, which she's not.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is that, trying to perceive as more of a quote unquote threat to police. There's a large distinction with when we call people women versus girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually regarding the objectification and the sexualizing. So I think they should do a little deep diving on him and might be on a few lists.
Yep.
Disgusting. I would like to nominate Chris Brown and his subsidiaries. Chris Brown, I should be nominated forever. I'm going to be the first person to say, obviously, I fucking hate him. But in my growing up, I have realized how we as a community, I think this is the prime example of how we have, in my youth, how we failed victims of domestic violence. And I think the Johnny Depp case is what will define this generation of failing that, and how we have spoken about it so casually. I remember I used to make I don't even know how to describe this without, it's going to sound bad because it is bad, that quote unquote jokes about Chris Brown, thinking when I was saying them that it made him look bad, and that it'd be oh yeah, this fucking wife beater Chris Brown or whatever, because that was constantly the joke, what we would hear about. And it goes, oh, actually, that is not me knocking him.
Mm-hmm.
That is me perpetuating horrific jokes about like actual violence. Like that does not hurt him. That hurts victims. And I had someone who messaged me like forever ago who's like, hey, you like made a like, again, like they're like, I don't want to call it a joke because it's clear you're trying to like poke, not even fun, but like you're trying to shit talk on him, but it does not like land that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Watched it back and I was like, yeah, no, that is so not how we should talk about it. But for the longest time, it's the only fucking way we talked about domestic violence. That was it.
So what happened? I don't know what the inciting incident was. All I saw was people talking shit about him, but I didn't know why.
Recent now or back in the day?
No.
Oh yeah. So this was, so what I'm saying is this was like back at like not exactly.
But I'm
so
saying
right
why
now,
are people still, because like last night, Head of Hoochie, she made a video about him and I was like, okay. And then I saw it and I was like, she talks shit about people who deserve to be talked shit about all the time. I thought this was just one of her videos. And then I saw someone else and then someone else. And I was like, what did he do recently?
So Chris Brown won the favorite male R&B artist at the AMAs. Chris Brown was not in attendance at the AMAs. There's speculation why he was not in attendance. There was somebody at the AMAs who has an active restraining order against Chris Brown.
Yep.
And that is part of the speculation. It is not confirmed. I will say there is a lot of fucking people who do not respect court order restraints, especially in Hollywood and at these events that people... So I'm not going to say that that's like the reason why he wasn't there. But when they announced his name, again, for winning favorite male R&B artist of the year, Kelly Rowland was presenting and the audience, a couple people clapped, most people started booing. And Kelly Rowland started yelling at the audience and specifically said there was some boos mixed in with the applause when his name was announced. And Kelly Rowland told the crowd to chill out and says, I want to thank Chris. Thank you so much for making great R&B music. And I want to tell him thank you for being an incredible performer. I'll take this award, bring it to you. I love you. Congratulations. Then she was asked by a TMZ photographer if that Chris Brown needed to be forgiven. She said, we all need to be forgiven for anything we can be doing, anything that we're thinking. We all come up short in some sort of way, and grace is real. And you know who's coming up next? Jordin Sparks. Jordin Sparks joins Kelly Rowland. She's voiced her support for Chris Brown. And okay, Variety, let's be a little more specific. Following an uncomfortable moment on the AMAs, Jordin Sparks told TMZ that she loves Chris Brown and believes he should have been at the awards on Sunday night. People deserve to be able to grow and learn and be able to live their life without things hanging over them. Everybody deserves that. Him especially.
He continuously does the same things over and over. He does not change.
No, he has a pattern of abusing women constantly. And I am all for reform, but I've never said this on the podcast. There's a very specific sect of criminal justice reform that we are not even fucking close to addressing. That is violence against women and rape, as well as pedophilia. Those are the things. We aren't there yet. We are not. We don't have support. We do not believe all women. We don't have resources. We aren't in a society that accepts these things as fact and does anything to dismantle the patriarchy and the violence and abuse towards women. So no, I'm a strong fucking believer in pretty much every other crime, rehabilitation. But as a society, we can't. You can rehabilitate, sure. Welcome back to our society. Our society is not built to keep you up like that. It is built to get you to hurt women.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
And again, and get you to be a fucking rapist and a predator all over again, because that is completely normalized and okay and encouraged by parts of our culture. Like, so that's no. You fucking did drugs, sure. Violence, sure. Robbery, sure. All of those things those things can be worked on. And I fully believe that you can become a completely different person. But at this point, regardless of how much you change as an individual, our society is not going to hold you accountable at all. Like every time someone goes to fucking jail for beating a woman, you always have people defending. Always have people fucking defending them. Like there is actually no fucking possible way you can learn from your actions from a repeat offense when you have millions of fucking fans telling you did nothing wrong. That's the biggest difference for me is like, yeah, he should be. I'm not saying I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't think he should die. But do I think he should be able to have a platform to perform for thousands of people and for people to see every single day, like, oh, on the comments, like he didn't do anything wrong. It's fine. He's justified. People like that. Like he's a good person. He's a great person. Blah. No.
I remember, and I think it was the AMAs when after everything happened the first time with Rihanna, that was probably the only time that he was truly shunned by everyone. And then he'd gone away for like a year or 2 years and then came back and they gave him, I believe it was the AMAs, they gave him like a 15-minute performance that started outside and went inside.
James Corden-ish.
And
fuck that.
It was like, he's back. He's forgiven him. He's been forgiven. But then it was like a week later, he was throwing chairs in a hotel room.
No, it's the patriarchy hurts men and it hurts women. And in this case, you are a danger to people around you. And you're specifically a danger to multiple women. And then to have other women get up there and stand up for him. You should be so fucking ashamed of yourselves. Listen to this. Honestly, this is Jordan Sparks. Honestly, I think that shouldn't even be a conversation anymore. It's about his talent, which she said of Brown's controversial past, which includes the highly publicized domestic violence incident against his then girlfriend, Rihanna. They just shouldn't have canceled the performance. That's how I feel about that. And seemingly also sharing her support, but this is not confirmed. So I'm just going to, I mean, we heard Kelly Rowland and we heard Jordan Sparks. There's no denying this. I'm going to say if Sarah's not showing her support, her social media manager should be fired. But that is what the implication looks like. 2 days ago, Sarah posted a video of rehearsals for the tribute because they were doing it together. And said, MJ, thank you for the inspiration you've given us all. Chris Brown, you're a rare breed of this generation. Always fun to rock with you. And that was 3 days ago from the day that we're recording. I just think this is so fucking embarrassing. And the exception that people have made for him is horrific. I know someone who used to work in, I don't know what specific sect of it, but knew intimate details of his tour bookings. And he was selling more tickets quicker than anybody else. Like people were clamoring to get to, like post all of, like, in the last couple of years that he was selling out stadiums. Like literally nobody gave a shit. Ticket price, like people fucking loved him. But I don't know the last time we've had this much vocal support for him. You know, you think about publicized cases of domestic violence, again, setting back for women and victims. But I think something that I also neglected to think about was how it opens the door for previous assaulters, people who've been violent, to use public opinion to then to basically recount any apology and accountability and use it to further their career even farther. And having now all these people defending not just the possibility of someone being innocent, but defending someone who is not innocent. Mm-hmm. It's egregious enough to say, I'm not going to believe this one who's come forward about being abused because I don't know, like I need to hear all of the facts and like I don't buy it because I watched the whole Johnny Depp trial and now I think I'm a fucking lawyer and I totally understand how the system works. That's fucking awful. And it's also fucking awful to go, oh yeah, this man who publicly beat his girlfriend, multiple girlfriends, multiple people, who has a history of being violent and who has like this has happened. I know it's happened and it's okay. Let's stop talking about it and move on. Mm-hmm. That is, now it's not that we're just not believing women. It's just that we don't care.
Yeah.
And I think it's like so supremely fucked. And I don't care how talented somebody is. If you're violent and you are violent against women, and also in the fucking industry, like the people he has hurt emotionally and physically, they're in the room with you right now. They're watching you give this speech. They're watching you defend him. You're going to see them. You're going to see them at an event next week. They know your name. You know their name. Like, how fucking warped of a how many fucking issues do you have that you can do that and say that with your whole fucking chest to like do to other women? It's just fucking awful. Like, it makes me so fucking mad. And even like, I don't want, and nobody fucking go and look on Twitter and see what people say about this shit. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. And just shout out to like, not even just activists, but like literally just like Black women on Twitter who are constantly like checking people of this, of be like, fuck no, fuck off with this bullshit. Not your responsibility whatsoever. And like the vitriol and the shit that I see, and these like, no, I'm not going to let you spew this shit. I'm going to correct every single thing you're saying. I'm going to tell you why this is wrong. And like, no, like fuck off. Fucking white dude incels who try and make this as like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, this is not a race thing. This is like literally fuck off with this shit. It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
I don't watch that Christmas movie he's in anymore. After that happened, I don't know. Like, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I've literally blocked him. I was so mad that I didn't know it was his song, but there's a song that's like one of the top songs on TikTok right now that I just found out was his song.
I didn't even know it was. I never looked at the audio, and then I saw it on Reels, and it was like Chris Brown, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah. But like I said, I saw Head of Hoochie post something, and I reposted it. I just thought anytime somebody's coming with anything to hate about him, I'm going to repost it.
I think we should have a yearly reminder.
Yeah.
Chris Brown is a piece of shit. And I'm like, great, let's do it again. Yeah. See you next year.
And so I was like, cool. But then I just saw like 2 more videos. I was like, something happened. But I have it. So again, I mute a lot of things so I don't see them. So I didn't know that had happened. And it's really messed up. And I'm really disappointed in Kelly. Like,
me too.
Because she's a survivor of domestic abuse too.
Well, part of me wonders if she saw the Fenty show, and I would just encourage everybody, if you have any hangups about like fully being done with him and canceling him or any of it, and this is with like a full disclosure, you should know, like read the fucking court documents. I don't think people know what actually has happened.
The pictures.
But even beyond the actual visual stuff, find out why people have restraining orders against him. Like, find out what's actually happened, because it's as bad as you think it is. It's so much worse, to the point where like these people have restraining orders because he is a danger to their lives.
Yeah.
And you're going to not only have him be in the same, like he didn't come to this award show, and you're going to be like, no, risk her life. She should risk her life so he can get up here. Come on, we can forgive him. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't think you know what this is. Like, I genuinely, I have to believe in my mind that I'm like, you have no idea actually what happened to you. Like you're in your mind, you're justifying physical abuse here. But do you know about the threats and attempts that have been made here? Because if that's the case,
it's not just the court documents. He sings about it in songs.
And I'm like,
and has said like, if I'm with somebody, I'm going to stalk her.
You know these women. You do. They're in the room. They're in the fucking room with you. And like the idea that either you have no idea and you're just talking out of your fucking ass while still justifying and defending, saying that we should move on from violent abuse, which you acknowledge actually happened, or you know the reasons why people have active restraining orders against him, and you know what he has continued to do and how he has not changed, and you're still okay with that. I'm like, cool, you want me dead. Thank you. Thank you for co-signing someone who also wants me dead.
Yeah.
Amazing. Great. Wonderful. Criminal justice reform is not at the expense of other people losing their lives. Like, that's not what that fucking is. That's not reform. That's just welcoming violent people back into your community, saying like, we don't value your life.
And reform, it's supposed to course correct, and he hasn't changed his behavior.
Nope. And again,
unless that's not reform.
And our society is not set up to continue that on in these specific cases until we do some serious steps in eradicating misogyny and the patriarchy within our own like day-to-day every activity, like life, gender roles and biases. Like now, like It can't happen.
Mhm.
Like, it just won't happen.
Yeah.
You can block him on, you've done that. You told me about this. You can block him on Spotify. You can like block him on music apps and so it won't pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But no, nobody is talented enough that it justifies abusing people
Mm-hmm.
at all. And I'm like so disappointed in all these women. So
All right. Well, that's the episode.
Chris Brown, enemy of the show. Anyways, that is it for our episode. Is there any like good news, something that we can share that doesn't leave me in like a blind rage? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. Oh, this is the greatest thing ever and so fucking cute. And I know this is coming out after Thanksgiving, but we are ahead for Hanukkah. At least a couple days. Hanukkah's almost over. Christmas is here. And we're definitely ahead for Christmas. This is from one of my favorite subreddits called You Should Know. And it's literally just a subreddit of people telling you facts that you should know and things you should know. You should know there is a baking hotline you can call if your recipe is going awry. King Arthur Flour has a hotline you can call for baking advice. You can call and a real person answers immediately. No touch tone menu. They are very friendly and helpful. I messed up my sourdough, called, and a very friendly woman helped me turn it into focaccia in real time. 855-371-BAKE, 855-371-2253. I'm just going to let you all know I'm not good at reading numbers out loud, so I would Google to confirm that's a number. It's US only, and they said, please do not prank them. They are so sweet and wholesome. Buy their flour. And my favorite comment on this Reddit was, I imagine a bunch of grannies staffing the call center, armed with years of handwritten notes of baking tips and tricks they've made during their lifetime. It's heartwarming.
Butterball also has one for turkey.
That's what it says too. That
1-800 Butterball.
Didn't even know that was I thought that was in a just move. No, I thought Butterball turkeys were just movies. I thought they were turkeys covered in butter that they sold and they were just a prop for a movie.
No.
Yeah. Imagine my surprise. Okay.
All right.
That is it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. If you are still listening, you should. Go comment on our Instagram who your Rachel of the Week is, or who your... Do we come up with a name? Because we can't say Malala, because that's just telling us like what Malala did that day.
Yeah. No, we didn't. Good news of the week.
Yeah. What's your good news of the week? Tell us the evil or tell us not. And hey, if you want to get real feisty with it, don't tell us if you're nominating, if it's like a pop culture thing, if you're nominating for the best or the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, that's only
And we
funny
can
in like
judge.
a small.
Yeah. We need to be able to judge them.
I was about to say, I was like, that's only really funny if it's something in your personal life that we can't do enough judging on. So let us know who it could be your hero or the villain of the week too.
Yep. I got a review to read too.
Hell yeah.
This is from Mech 28,000 exclamation mark.
That is an alien. 28,000.
Love the podcast, 5 stars. Love the podcast. You guys are great, and I've been listening for years since you started posting them on YouTube and recommend to friends. Eminem has never been wrong. You're right. Thank you.
And as people have never been wrong, we are confident in telling you that you are right. We have never been wrong.
And if you would like your review read on the podcast, you have to leave one. Go for it.
Hell yeah.
All right. We will
circle back. Goodbye.
Bye.
But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
and we are the co-hosts of the Let me try that again. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy,
Danny Jordan.
and we are the hosts of Christmas Countdown Show.
We're so thrilled to be bringing the merriment to you all this holiday season.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be massively merry,
Oh, yeah.
gigantically jolly, fantastically festive,
was
as
good.
some people might say, Eric. We are all about alliterations, and we are all about Christmas spirit. On Christmas Countdown, we love to count down our top 10 favorite things related to the holiday season. That could be food, movies, music, everything that we all love about this massively merry good time. So wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you click that subscribe button. Eric, are you ready?
I am ready, and we hope that you are too. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's go. It should be like, let's go, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go Network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.